Hello, this is Winston Cunningham. It is September 23rd, 2024. And the good stuff is buried deep. I've known this for a long time, and I'm saying it today in a slightly new flavor. The truth comes to me in bits and pieces, and sometimes in clumps, and but it's time for something to come that I've been needing. It's been needing to surface for a good while, and I've had a cold for the last week or so, and rain's not been quite as useful as normal. So I'm coming out of that, but at the same time, I'm realizing some things that I really need to do. Something I think has benefited me in the last few days. I've kept turning on the TV, and I'd come across Garth Brooks. Seemed to be his life story. A lot of amazing things happened with Garth Brooks, and it was interesting to see that. So that's kind of motivating to me in a way. I'm not here to talk about Garth Brooks, but I appreciate what he's accomplished and the attitude he took toward allowing it all to unfold and to become and to work with it. And he's done a fantastic job as far as I can see. But that was just coming in the last day or so, and I enjoyed watching it. I didn't watch it all at one time, just bits and pieces. But I've always appreciated that story, and I've been in Nashville long enough to be aware of more of the story than I would have otherwise. And I remember I used to do the Bluebird Cafe occasionally because I'm a songwriter myself. Used to do the Bluebird Cafe, and it never was hard getting an appointment there to perform my songs as a writer or amateur writer. But when Barbara Walters interviewed Garth Brooks at the Bluebird Cafe, well, the next week there was a line down the block to get into the Bluebird Cafe as a writer to display the songs. And I remember when I first came to Nashville, I was told there was about 30,000 songwriters in Nashville, and there was about 300 of them making a living at it. So that's kind of the breakdown on it, and it's probably the same is true in any other industry or any other way of life, that only about 1% really achieve their goals, and that's probably because Garth Brooks' approach was a little different than most. You know, by watching this story or parts of it in the last couple of days, I found some things interesting about it because he was living his life the way that he could see that he needed to as he went, because the way he imagined it to go in the beginning, it didn't quite go that way. So I respect his way of, he was constantly adjusting to what is. And so that's kind of where I'm at. And I'm making the adjustment now to something that needs to surface within me that I've managed to put off in a variety of different ways. But I'm kind of getting over that. And I'm having to hear some things that I need to hear, but I'm having to listen a little bit deeper, because it's not, this lifetime is not, it was not to be for me to just hang around on the surface and get very much done. And I've spent most of the time, more than I like to admit, well, that's okay. I've spent more of this lifetime probably observing than any other thing. And I still get a lot about every moment, every experience I'm observing, even if it's my experience or if it's someone else's experience. I'm still a part of that because I'm an observer. So I get as much out of watching someone else's experience as I do my own sometimes. But today I'm coming to terms, just the breaking up of a cold, and that phlegm that breaks loose is actually related to the emotions. And so I'm shaking some emotions loose that I needed to go a little bit deeper with. And I've worked with emotions for a long time. But what's going on now, is just a little bit different. So I'm having to dig a little bit deeper and work with my emotions on a little bit deeper level than what I had. And so even with the emotions, the good stuff is buried deeply. You know, you don't find gold and silver laying around on top of the ground. Or you might in rare cases. But even then, you got to be really looking for it, or you miss it, just another rock. And a lot of people that know what to look for, they have an easier time finding it. And I'm fine-tuning my way of looking is what I'm doing now. And I'm preparing myself to respond in a way that I've been planning on for the last 80 years. And I'm getting ready to actually do it. So, and I'm finding, when I have a dream and I work up, I see what the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali have to say about it, and then I see what Matthew Interpreted has to say about it, the books that I read. That's been adding a lot to me. So I'm finding some value in different ways. And it would be ways that I needed to look at earlier, but I just wasn't prepared to do that. And maybe I didn't have the experience. And that's something that Garth Brooks was talking about. He talked about when he first came to Nashville, and it didn't happen like what he thought it was going to. He went on back to the house and stayed there for a while. So he got himself ready, and he come back. So that's what I've been doing, is getting ready. And so I'm going to be pleased, not necessarily surprised, but pleased, and I hope I can be as much in awe of some things that I'm going to do as what Garth Brooks was, because he had reminded me of what Jesus said, when you approach things as little children, that's where you get to the kingdom of heaven. And Garth Brooks seems to still have that childlike, let me see it, let me see it. and he sees it when he says, let me see it, because he approaches life as it appears without the limitations that most of us have. He seems to have been able to turn it around to where he knows that he's not limited. He just wondered why everybody else is not coming along. And he's figured something out that most people don't understand yet, or they're not able to use. And the thing that stands out about watching this Garth Brooks program is just he just jumped in and did it. And that's what I need to do. So anyway, I'm looking for the good stuff, and I know it's buried, and I'm looking deeper, and it's coming. It's coming. And it's true for, what's true for me is true for anybody, any place, any time. So whatever you hear me say here is true for anybody, any place, any time. I'm Winston Cunningham. Thank you.